The movie The Godfather is one of the most iconic movies known. Released in 1972 and directed by Francis Ford Coppola, this movie is known as Hollywood at its best. With its unbeatable cast, captivating plot, and genius use of cinematic techniques, The Godfather expresses the activities and lives of individuals in a mob from the inside, gives us an understanding of Italian-American culture, and uses cinematic techniques such as mise en scene and camera angles and movements to enhance the movie without depending on dialogue. Mise en scene is the arrangement of a scene and how props in the set convey the story without depending on dialogue. We can observe an example of mise en scene in the moments before Luca Brasi's death. In this scene, Luca Brasi walks from a brightly lit room to a dark room, which dampens the mood and very broadly signifies the incoming of a sorrowful incident. Then, as we observe him walking into the bar, the cameraman does not follow him in, but stops at the door and lingers on the fish designs. At this point in time, we wonder why this is done so, and naturally, we believe that the answer will come as we stay tuned, which it does. In a later scene, we have Tom, Sonny, Michael, and Clemenza attempt to uncover Luca Brasi's whereabouts, and Tessio brings in a package with fish and passes along the message.
What the hell is this?
That's a Sicilian message. It means Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes.
This is a popular example of mise en scene because after we watched this scene, we were reminded of the previous scene and we understand why the camera lingers on the door. And all of this happened without depending on dialogue. Another example of mise en scene is the coincidental representation of oranges in the movie. An intriguing observation one can make while watching the movie is that whenever there's a life or death situation regarding Vito Corleone, oranges were in the scene preceding the action. A reasonable deduction one can make is that the set designer, Dean Travaleres, intended to put oranges in the movie to be a representation of incoming death, but he says the opposite. He knew that the movie would have a gloomy theme and have dark, mysterious lighting, so he added oranges to the scenes to bring in more color. It was completely coincidental that oranges were prominent objects in such significant and plot-bending scenes regarding Vito, and to quote his exact words, "I don't remember anybody saying, 'Hey, I like oranges' as a symbolic message." Camera angles mark a specific location at which the camera is positioned to take a shot. They can be wide shots, close-ups, over the shoulder, and so on. Camera movements are various techniques in which a camera moves closer or farther from a subject in a way that is meaningful to the story. They can be pans, tracking shots, dollies, and so on. A very significant way camera angles and movements were used in The Godfather is how it portrayed its characters. A good example is the portrayal of Sonny and Carlo, who at first are thought to be such distinct characters. Carlo disrespects and cheats on his new wife Connie and even whips her while she was pregnant just because he was frustrated with his minor role in the Corleone family business and was working a plan to murder Sonny. As for Sonny, even he cheated on his wife Sandra, but he was fiercely protective of his sister Connie and even beat Carlo senseless when he had heard of Connie's physical abuse from him. When we watch The Godfather, we are so immersed in a world of illegal happenings that even the smallest act of kindness is seen as heroic. Thus, Sonny is seen as the hero and Carlo as the monster. So why are high camera angles used when they both were at their most vulnerable, essentially portraying them in similar fashion? When we analyze both Sonny and Carlo, we realize that both of them are paying the price for their temperament, impulsivity, and infidelity, regardless if Sonny stood up for Connie. Another good example is how camera movements enhanced significant scenes of decision-making and story-changing moments for Michael. When Tom, Sonny, Clemenza, Tessio, and Michael are contemplating whether Michael should meet up with Salazzo and McCluskey, Michael speaks up with a solid plan to murder them both. We see a very subtle dolly move towards Michael as he narrates his plan, which silences everything and everyone else around him, and draws us into the scene and makes us listen to his slowly articulated words. Then, the laughter of Clemenza and the others breaks our focus on Michael. A similar dolly is used to move towards Michael when he is at the diner with Sollozzo and McCluskey. We see the dolly move towards Michael's face, and we observe that his eyes dart everywhere, and Michael finally stands up and shoots Sollozzo and McCluskey. This dolly, again, is used to signify significant decision-making for Michael, as he realizes there's no backing out from his involvement in the Corleone family business. Why didn't Vito do anything regarding Carlo's abuse towards Connie? Considering many of the ruthless actions he's done, we wouldn't be surprised if he immediately ordered the execution of Carlo from Connie's very first complaint. But this never happens. Why? Because his role as the father to Connie restricts him from interfering into his daughter's marriage, which is a tradition of Italian Americans. The socio-cultural aspects of The Godfather essentially drives the character's choices and actions throughout the movie. Vito is portrayed as a joyful family man, since the importance of family is optimum in Italian American culture. As for Michael, he follows Sicilian traditions when he wishes to court Apollonia. He follows what is called an old world courtship, where Apollonia's family chaperones their encounters because they need the confidence that Michael will be a worthy husband who will not only respect Apollonia, but the whole Vitelli family